Hey everyone, me Kevin here. Okay, let's talk about Lordstown Motors. So last week, Lordstown Motors got absolutely devastated, and they just popped a little bit in the market today, and I want to talk a little bit, about why and what's happening here. So let's start by just looking back here over the past few days. So this has been Lordstown. It's kind of been moving a little bit in the momentum plays, and we've seen it have some pain, specifically last week, where we've had sharper declines, where we've gone from 1566 to all of a sudden, suddenly, it's all of a sudden down to about $10.68. We had this massive decline here. 5 points on a $15. It's massive. We've got, 33-ish% decline here. We tried climbing back to about 1165, quickly fell back down to about 920. Today, all of a sudden, though, we did get a little bit of a boost from about the 930 levels. We opened up right around, it looks like we opened about 922 to 930. And right now, we're trading at a high of $10.64. Within this last hour candlestick here, up 7.12%, currently sitting at a last price of $9.92. And questions are coming up as to why Lordstown is popping a little bit today. Here's an article explaining slightly why, but first I want to mention why first. We saw a decline last week. One of the big reasons we saw Lordstown just get utterly pummeled last week has to do with an 8K they released, which is just a current report where in the current report they declared, and we pulled this up on a live stream last week. It was pretty blunt. You could see this on their investor relations page. They declared that they are unable to include any or project any opportunities or abilities to actually deliver vehicles this year. So no vehicles to get delivered in 2021. They also said they would only have enough money to, in 2021, maybe produce 1 or 2 beta vehicles, and that in 2022, they'd be able to move into production if they were able to raise more money. But to be able to raise more money, they'd probably either have to issue more debt or they would have to issue more shares and sell those, which would dilute everybody who's investing in the company. So that was really bad news. In fact, they even specifically recommended that people don't invest in the company. It was kind of like a CYA, And then they also said there's a serious going concern for the company. That is sort of a fancy accounting term for basically like we might not survive, we might go bankrupt. So anyway, now this just came out here. And it here says, this is from Street Insider, Lordstown has binding orders for first 2 years of production. Okay, great. So let's hear this, because we also just had the CFO and the CEO leave, which is also not good. So here's finally like a little bit of a breath of fresh air. All right, so Detroit. Lordstown Motors has firm and binding orders for the first 2 years of production of its electric pickup truck, the president said on Tuesday, sending shares up 11%, currently up about 7%. Quote, currently we have enough orders for production for 2021 and 2022. Personally, this is a little, sounds a little convenient to say right after an investor relations release. You said, we're out of money and we can't produce anything. So I want to make this very clear, and this is the first time I'm reading this, but I want to make this very clear. When a president of a company that just got wrecked comes out and says, hey guys, we have enough orders for 2021 and 22 production, I'm thinking to myself, that's great. How are you going to pay for it, given that you just told the world you don't have enough money? So then he says, I don't know the exact... Okay, hold on. Let's get rid of this. I don't know the exact facts of the legal aspect of that, but they're basically binding orders that are committed here in the last 2 weeks. Reconfirmed orders, he added. Asked when they were binding. They're pretty solid, and I think that's on the light side or conservative side. What kind of crap is this? I'm sorry, but wait. The president said at an automotive press conference, those are firm orders we have for those 2 years. I don't know the exact facts of the legal aspect of that. What does that even mean? But they're basically binding orders that are committed here in the last 2 weeks and reconfirmed. Okay, so you call people up like, hey, you still good with your pre-order on your truck for Lordstown? Because we need to put out a good press release. Call me jaded, okay? Call me jaded. That's just what I'm seeing right now here. In March, Lordstown shared slump after Hindenburg had attacked them back in March. We, on Monday, heard that the CEO and CFO left. They resigned and acknowledged they overstated the quality of pre-orders in the trucks. And I think that's why you're having the president now come out and say, well, we have at least 2 years of good pre-orders. SEC has asked the company for information related to their pre-orders. GM owns a small stake in the startup. Well, they also owned a small stake in Nikola. Or basically got gifted a stake in Nikola. Okay, yeah, to me, honestly, this is not actually great news for Lordstown. Like, when I read that, I'm like, dude, why would you hold a press conference and go, yeah, there are basically orders that are good? Like, what? What are you saying? You're the president of Lordstown Motors and you're coming out to a press release and you don't have the proper details? You gotta be kidding me. So that makes me nervous, okay? We get 2 executives that leave. We get the attorneys for the company putting together SEC documents that are saying we're basically going bankrupt. You get a president that comes out and says we basically have enough orders for 2021 and 2022, but their SEC report said even if they have orders, they might not have money to actually produce those orders. They barely have enough money to get their beta vehicles done this year, and they'll have to raise a lot of money going into 2022, which is also not good for the shareholders. So, all in all, big Lordstown Motors bottom line here, I'm not happy. I'm nervous. I'm not a shareholder. I dumped all of my shares. Well, I had a few options. We had a few swing options. And I think I got out with like an $1,800 loss right before like the big red candlestick came. So I felt really good about that. Not that the company went down, but really good that I was able to get out. But look at this bounce right here. We've got the bottom. We know we're trying to get back to that 18 level here. But folks, this lid is going to get moved down hardcore if we continue to get this sort of bad news coming out of Lordstown. Now, part of you might wonder, like, well, how bad can it get? Like, can it really get any worse? Yes. They could literally sit in the toilet and then issue shares and shares and shares, and this ends up becoming a penny stock sub $5. So, yeah. And I'm not trying to, like, FUD Lordstown, okay? Just trying to be transparent. So, anyway, those are my thoughts. It makes me a little nervous. And don't get me wrong, like, I love the concept that Lordstown's going for, but that kind of press release, that's a BS press release, okay? Like, I call BS there. All right, folks, thank you for watching this on Lordstown. Let's move on.